Hello my fellow gamers and welcome once again to Paraphilosophy Dose. Today I'm going to continue my second Cities Skylines Let's Play called Designing New Cities. This is the city of ColdSnap, now in episode 4. You do remember in episode 3 that I was just starting to develop this newest area here. It's a district that has a mix of residential, commercial and offices. Down here are the services and some parks, and I've also done custom parks with the large parks in the middle. Now you can see that I've added a lot of trees, and I've actually gone overboard and added trees all over the place next to the highways, and I've even made a natural park here with the rock formations, the paths and some trees. Now in the middle here where, well, I should probably show you the names. This area here is called Bed and Rest, this one is called the Uptown. Over here we have the Industry Spiral with all the farming, and down here we have the Goods Co for the general goods production. Now here in the middle, like I wanted to say, I added a lot of trees as well, and I switched out the colors of the trees just to make this area look a little bit different than the Uptown area. Now I am going to build a new area over here called 9 to 5. This is because I need a lot more working sims in the city to supply all the factories and commercial buildings with new labor. So as you can see, new buildings are popping up right here because the industry does have good demand, and I think I just need to fix some small issue I noticed with the game with the speed limit, because if you'll notice the spiral, these vehicles are moving much faster than they used to because I increased the speed from 40 to 90 on these roads using the traffic manager mode, which is really handy and allows these vehicles to get through the spiral much more quickly than before. Hopefully that is it. They should now move inside the spiral much faster than they used to, and this makes the spiral more effective. You can see how nicely they keep moving. There's no stoppages because they use the right lane to do the deliveries, and then they use the left lane to keep moving if the right lane is taken up by somebody who's doing a delivery. As you saw just now, more of the generic industry is being built, and like I said, I need a lot more workforce, so this area is going to be high density residential. I've already mapped out the district, and I am now going to show you how the actual design of this district is going to look like. So my plan is to have these roads, which are 2-lane one-way roads, and the entrance into the industrial area is going to go something like this, while the exit out of the industry area and going for the sims to go back to their homes is going to be going like this. This way I want to create a nice traffic flow where they get into the industry area on one side and get out on the other. Now, where are the sims actually going to live? Where they are going to live on 2-lane roads with trees here in the middle, which are going to be looking like something like this. Now, they are going to be back to back, but I want to leave some space here for regular parks that I'm going to make and some of custom parks that I'm going to make. So the connecting streets are going to look like this, and then I'll put the parks here on the sides, some parks for children to have fun at, and then I can do manual parks here in the middle as well, have some paths leading into them, and then connecting the two sides of the street, for example like this, and then have the custom park right here with some trees, and that's like one unit where people are going to live. There will be some commercial from time to time, for example in here, and then there will be another unit here. Now, in order to fill up this entire area, I will use these roads, but in a little bit of a different formation than I'm used to. So I'll go up with the roads like this, and then I'll turn to the side and go up again. But then I'm going to delete these paths here and then reconnect using the curved road tool. So it is going to look like something like this. The same thing I'm going to do on this side. So the road goes to here, goes up, then I delete these areas here and then use the curve tool for the roads to connect up again. Now you can see that this is actually going to leave some space on the right side. Then I can do something like this and then have another spot for those home units to be created, and then later on again I'll go to left, then up, delete these two areas here, use the curve tool, and then connect once back over here. And you can now see this taking shape as I do a little bit more of these here. There will be more space here, I just drew the road too closely, and when I delete this, you can see how it's going to turn out. So that's basically the design for this area. The services, I'm going to see whether or not they're going to be inside of these blocks or on the sides here. And since they do need a way to turn around their vehicles, there will be lots of these streets intersecting like this. so they will have places to turn. There is going to be a lot of lights, but there shouldn't be too much of a trouble for traffic because it's just going to be inner traffic, while the outer traffic is going to use these roads to get the teams to their work and back. So that's the design, and I'm going to work on it a little bit more and show you how it's really going to look like. So this took a little bit of precise engineering to just make sure that the zones are 4x4 when built, and that there are spaces for these pathways between these zones to interconnect everything. Then to choose the right parks, which are going to have 5x5 or 4x4 spaces that they take up, or maybe 5x7 or 8. And then I have only one last park to add here. I think it's going to be another carousel. There we go. And that needs a little bit of a connection with the path to lead to it. This is the place where I add the trees. Going to this menu, I can add trees into these little areas here, and then I can choose different trees depending on what is the ambient that I want to make. And then I add the manually made park sets like this, just to make these spots here more beautiful. And this is something that I can go and do throughout these neighborhoods. Now, besides this, there are the zones. So the residential areas are 4x4, and they are not zoned onto this area here. I have made sure to use the zoning tools so that the buildings are not going to be built on this road, but actually down here. So the green means that if I were to click, this would allow zoning, and if I were to click on the orange, that would disallow zoning, like this. So when I click back, I can zone. So this is where the residential is going to be. This is where the commercial is going to be. Every now and then there's going to be one commercial building. As for the services, there is enough space here, and I actually had to make a lot of tunnels here because I needed to make sure that I can place these garbage dumps away from the neighborhoods that people are going to be living. So the first garbage dump can go like so, and then it uses this handy tunnel here to get into this area, and then the garbage trucks can do their thing up here. As for the traffic getting into this part, I have an off-ramp from this highway and this highway as well. They merge together into a 2-lane one-way road, and that in turn merges into this road, which then takes the traffic all over the place. On the other side, I have these off-ramps which lead to this one-way road that is going to take the traffic up here into the industrial area. And also again, I have tunnels which branch out as highway ramps from this 2-lane road over to the industry on this side and the farming industry on this side. When they are coming back, they use the highway ramp going off from here, down here, and then to this one-way 2-lane road, which then gets them all the way back here with the ramps, making sure that population can get back to their homes. So they leave for work on the right side, go up, go into the industrial area, and when they go back home, they use this side again on the right side as they're coming back home into this area here. Now the power has to be drawn over here from the wind farm, and then it can be connected to whichever building comes up first. As for the other services, besides the garbage incinerator, there's the medical clinic that I have to place, and I have chosen this to be its spot. There's also a crematorium that I have to make, so that can be placed here. There is a fire department, a smallish one I think is enough. It can be placed here, and then the police station, which should be able to fit right here. So that covers everything except education. Education is something that I am probably going to place here in the middle so that each one of these places can get good education. As for the high schools, I'm going to have a high school as well in one of these areas, like for example here, and then a university as well, just to make sure that all of these teams have good access to education. As for the buses, I can put a bus line here, and I'll see how the traffic is with the high density if I need to get buses over here to the industry. As for the parks, there is going to be a lot of them, but since I'm playing with unlimited funds, I can pretty much build anything I want and make the city as beautiful as I want. Of course, I will add trees over here next to the highway, just to make sure that the highway doesn't ruin the peaceful way that these people are going to live, so the highway is going to be blocked off with trees, like so. Well, it's not fully blocked off, but it's a much nicer view. Well, nothing is left than to press forward and have them build. As they build the first buildings, I can connect the power from here to here. And now this area will have power, it has water, and things should start moving in here pretty quickly. We should see the first vehicles coming down here, getting into these tunnels, getting out from this tunnel, and then entering this part. You can see the garbage dump is already sending out trucks, and this should develop really quickly. I'm going to go to speed 3 and just wait for the first teams to move in. As you can see here, 9 out of 10 households, 8 out of 9, 14 out of 16. Some of these have already leveled up to level 2. Over here we have Buy It All Shop, which already has workers, and then I just need to educate all of them so that these buildings can keep leveling up. So this is how this neighborhood is going to look like, and this is how it's going to expand. I would like to thank you for watching this episode and invite you to watch episode 5 when I upload it. Thank you very much and see you soon.